All right, kiddos, this is going to take you through a brief overview of the Sniper short story to use as you would like. So the setting of this story is Dublin, Ireland during the Irish Civil War. The Irish Civil War was between the Free State and the Irish Republic state. And so those were the two sides of the war that was going on. So the story opens up in the very early evening in Dublin, and that time is typically a pretty peaceful time of day. However, when the story is presented to us, there are a lot of loud sounds that are introduced. So there's dogs barking in the background, there's gunshots going off. So right away, we're introduced to a very tense mood straight away from the sounds that are suggested in the setting of this story. So there's a guide for you about the mood of the story. So I don't know if anyone has ever been around loud gunshots or if you've heard like a lot of fireworks. Some people really like it. Some people feel a little bit on edge with those types of loud sounds. So you can imagine that if you were, heaven forbid, in war, that the constant loud noise may be stress inducing. So the question on the screen is asking us what narrative point of view the story is told from. So first person, third person, omniscient. The story is told in third person, and it's not omniscient because you only get one character's perspective here, which is the Republican sniper. Really early on, we get a lot of information about the Republican sniper. So in the exposition, there are two quotes provided for you here. And the first is a direct characterization of the sniper, telling us that he looks young, that he looks like someone who really enjoys war. He has the gleam of the fanatic in his eyes, so the fanatic about war. The second example is after he has been shot, there is a scene in which he is cleaning his own wound and dressing it. And so the description of him doing this and of how it feels for him and the way he responds to it all indirectly characterizes him as being a pretty tough guy. He's also knows what he's doing. He's clearly been trained how to deal with a gunshot. So I would imagine if you're a sniper, that's probably something you get trained to do really early on. So this is the information we get about him. He really, when he's presented to us, he loves war, and he really is willing to do whatever it takes to complete his goals. So we mainly see that when he so willingly shoots the woman who is in the tattered headdress. I mean, I think it's obvious, yes, that she is an informant, the way that the story presents it to us, but he has no hesitation of the fact that she is a woman, the fact that there is a child around her. He is there to do his job. And so that is made very clear about him early on in the story. So the rising action of this story begins at the inciting incident. So the inciting incident for the story is when the Republican sniper gives away his position and is then shot in the arm. This begins the main conflict of the story, which is a man versus man conflict between the Republican sniper and then the enemy sniper who he exposed his position to when he, I think he lights a cigarette, which is what reveals his position. So after he is shot, that begins the rising action in which we are watching to find out who is going to be the victorious in this man versus man conflict. Literally, that's happening on. It's like an exchange of gunfire between two enemy sides. So the climax of the story happens when the sniper shoots to kill the Republican sniper shoots to kill the enemy sniper that was on the rooftop across the way. That would be the climax of the story because we're watching to figure out what is the outcome of the inciting incident. So who's going to win this man versus man conflict? And it is the Republican sniper, the main character of this story. Is there I don't know why it doesn't say falling action. So is there falling action or resolution to this story? There is falling action. During the falling action, the sniper falls apart emotionally. And the text, we're going to look closely at this, but the text says he snaps after he sees the dead body of the person that he's killed. And he completely changes the way that he feels about war. He feels bad for what he's done so far. And in this moment, he decides to go to the body of the enemy sniper and flip it over. Okay, so all of that is your falling action. The resolution of this story is when he sees the face of the enemy sniper and realizes that it is, in fact, his brother. So which part of this story would we consider ironic? It would be that the enemy sniper that he shot is his family member, his brother. It is considered situational irony because as it is the opposite of what we would expect to happen. We would expect that the enemy would have been someone that was in fact his enemy and not his family member. What is the main external conflict in the story? So the main external conflict of this story is the war that is ongoing. The Irish Civil War is the main external conflict. It is classified as a man versus society conflict because all war conflict is considered man versus society. So there's a background, overarching, or looming external conflict, which is the war, classified as man versus society. There is also then an external conflict that is happening man versus man between the two snipers when they're engaging in direct gunfire between each other. There is also an internal conflict happening towards the end of this story. Basically, you see it in the falling action. So the Republican sniper is having an internal conflict in the way that he feels about war and trying to come to terms with what he's done in the name of being a skilled sniper. So it leads us to examine the Republican sniper and ask, is he a static or dynamic character? First, let me just throw in there, he's round because he is complex. There's a lot of things that we know about him. And then he's also dynamic because he has experienced character growth as a result of his experience within the story. So when he starts off, he is a fanatic war sniper who is good at his job and clearly knows what he's doing, has no qualms about getting the job done. And then by the end of the story, we see a man that is filled with regret and that is questioning his position as someone who even fights in war before the ultimate gut punch on the story, which is seeing that the man that he has killed most recently is actually his own brother. If you have any questions about anything, you can message me through Canvas inbox. You can let me know that you need more help with this story, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed it. This one's always a good one.